In order to make things like this stop, we have to call people out that do that.
A resignation from a town's mayor accepted. How a racially insensitive post on Facebook apparently cost her her job. And what's next for the town of Clay. And now at 11, a packed house as Clay City Council reacts to a firestorm that's making national headlines.
It was created when Development Corporation employee Pamela Ramsey Taylor posted a racially insensitive message on Facebook, which then got a positive comment from the town's mayor. Taylor's post referred to First Lady Michelle Obama as an ape in heels and said it will be refreshing to have a beautiful and dignified First Lady back in the White House. Mayor Beverly Whaling then commented on that post, telling Taylor that it, quote, made her day. The post went viral and led to calls for both women to lose their jobs. Tonight, Claytown Council apologized for that Facebook post by Taylor and for the comment now former Mayor Whaling posted. Council members say what was said in that post does not reflect the view of people in Clay County or West Virginia. One council member read Whaling's resignation letter in that meeting tonight. It was one sentence saying she was resigning effective immediately. One woman who drove 2 hours to be at tonight's meeting says she was happy to hear council members publicly criticize that post and to accept Whaling's resignation.
They were blatantly racist. I feel like she tried to claim that she was not a racist and that, you know, she didn't mean anything by it and she was sorry that people were offended. But the fact is the comments were racist. She knew what she was doing when she agreed with them, and she's just sorry that they became public. And in order to make things like this stop, we have to call people out that do that.
Council says they are going to appoint a new mayor to finish out the rest of Whaling's term, which is about 3 years. Right now, they do not have a timetable on when that position will be filled. Taylor has been placed on leave from her job at the Clay County Development Corporation.
And how about this? Nothing beats a nice fountain shot in autumn. This was taken out at Coonskin Park, courtesy of photojournalist Bennett Sifrin. But Jim, it won't be long before that fountain might freeze over this weekend, huh?
It is going to be very cold by the time we get to the weekend, but ahead of that, we're going to enjoy some very mild conditions. In fact, today worked out very nicely if you like the warmer weather. We had sunshine pushing the temperature up in the 60s, but now the clouds have moved in, and they're going to trap some of the warmth, so we should stay in the 40s for the overnight low. Our live Doppler radar shows no precipitation. We've got the clouds, but no rainfall out of that. Might see an isolated sprinkle, and that's about it. Temperatures 30s over to the east where we have mostly clear skies still. Elkins 33, Lewisburg 36, clouds just moving in there where they've been around a while longer. Charleston 46, Huntington 50, and look at Prestonsburg 55. So Chillicothe, though, has dropped down to 36. Our planner says for tomorrow, for your Wednesday, 43 to start off the day. That's fairly comfortable. 52 by lunchtime, and by the late afternoon, partly cloudy skies, and 58, which is seasonable for this time of year. But yes, things really warm up after that, and then they cool down in a big way. And I'll have all those numbers for you, and I'll have the timing. I'll have it right down to the minute for you. That's in my forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Drought is drying up forests, and minimal rainfall in the forecast is, of course, not helping that issue. These fires have scorched more than 40,000 acres and counting in North Carolina. Dozens of major wildfires are currently burning, and 7 states have banned burning on public lands. That means no campfires, no cigarette smoking, and cars cannot park off-road where a hot tailpipe could light up dry grass or leaves. And in Kentucky, forestry officials believe a 10-acre forest fire in Martin County was intentionally set. Right now, 70 counties in the Bluegrass State have burn bans, which means absolutely no outside burning to make sure fires do not spread because of those dry conditions. Typically in Kentucky, though, it is illegal to burn between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But of course, right now, all of those counties, burning is banned at all hours. In West Virginia, open burning is only allowed between 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. In Ohio, outdoor open burning is banned between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Next tonight, the Wayne County School Board officially accepting Superintendent Sandra Perttee's resignation, letting her out of her contract about 2.5 years early. Perttee's retirement isn't coming without some controversy, though. A lot of people questioning how the county was spending its money, especially when it comes to a baseball field. Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey has more on their concerns and how Perttee is firing back.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by the same. Being none, motion carries 5-0.
And with that, the Wayne County School Board greenlit the end of Superintendent Sandra Perttee's 40-year service to the county.
The timing is perfect to begin the next phase of my life.
While the board thanked her for her service, their retirement doesn't come without controversy.
We filed a Freedom of Information. We got the information we were looking for.
A group of people in Wayne County is bringing up issues with county finances. In the center, the construction of the Tulsa baseball field between 2014 and 2016.
It's there, it's done. But did they have the authority to do it?
Matt Harmon is one of a few people raising issue with the field, saying its construction violated state and county purchasing policy. He says the county maintenance department built the field without bidding out competitive contracts, spending more than $200,000 on supplies and racking up nearly 1,600 hours of overtime.
People are trying to figure out how to pay for everything now. You know, do we need a ball field or do we need to lower taxes?
The field was completed shortly before the school system ran into a $1.7 million budget shortfall, further fanning the flames.
Anyone that questions that project, I really think they should be ashamed of themselves.
Perttee stands by the field's construction, saying Tulsa's gone without for 28 years. She says the field was built in-house, so they never needed to put out competitive bids, saving the county money.
Our maintenance built the field. We don't bid a project out that we're doing ourselves.
Perttee says she welcomes somebody to come forward with evidence, proof of wrongdoing with the Tulsa baseball field. Her last day with the county is going to be January 31st of next year. Reporting live in Huntington, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.
The victim of a home invasion and several break-ins in eastern Kanawha County is speaking out after taking matters into his own hands. Daryl Foster says he found a man and a woman inside his home on Sharon Hollow Road in Cabin Creek around 1:30 this morning. Foster says he fired several shots. One of those shots hit the woman. Kanawha County deputies searched the area but did not find those suspects. However, Melanie Lynn Dunlap of Eskdale was treated for a gunshot wound at a Charleston hospital, then took off. She's wanted tonight on robbery and burglary charges. And tonight, the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office wants to know if you've seen this man, Marshall Priestley II. He goes by Andy. Detectives say he's been missing from Cross Lane since February. If you have seen Priestley or know anything about his disappearance, call police. A man wakes up to find an intruder in his home going through his pockets, and now that man is on the run.
Eyewitness News reporter Leslie Rubin live in the studio to open up this week's files. Leslie.
We're still looking for tips on all three fugitives tonight, and you may know right where to find one. That number to call right now, 1-888-720-TIPS. If you do call, you can always remain anonymous. Here's a look inside this week's fugitive files. Robert Priddy is wanted for a probation violation on burglary and domestic battery charges. Deputies say the victim in this case was taken to the hospital and told them that he woke up inside his home, asleep in his bed, and found someone rummaging through his pockets. He says he recognized the man as Priddy and says Priddy punched him in the face several times before he took off. Deputies think Priddy was after the victim's money he had just received from his Social Security check. Priddy is 5'10", 150 pounds. His last known address is on Church Street in Gallagher. Cheska Massey is wanted for third offense shoplifting. South Charleston police say she was busted a third time with hidden merchandise from Walmart in her shopping cart that she was trying to sneak out of the door. Massey is 5'1", 155 pounds. Her last known address is on Paint Creek Road, also in Gallagher. Brett Reagan is wanted for grand larceny. Charleston police say he went into Cabela's at Southridge and stole more than $1,000 worth of merchandise. Reagan is 5'8", 170 pounds. His last known address is on Everest Circle in St. Albans. Of course, that number to call if you recognize those three fugitives, 1-888-720-TIPS. We'll see you back here next Tuesday, and we'll let you know if those tips paid off. For now, reporting live in the studio, Leslie Rubin, Eyewitness News.
Protests continue following last week's presidential election, but tonight a group was rallying in downtown Charleston in support of the current administration's policy of bringing Syrian refugees into the United States. Some of those refugees have begun new lives right here in West Virginia, but as Eyewitness News reporter Kaylee Gunderson quickly found out, not everyone thinks that's a good idea. She's live tonight at the Capitol. Kaylee?
Rick, this is the second year now that a group has rallied in support of refugees moving to West Virginia, but it wasn't long before a group of protesters joined just down the street from the rally against refugees coming to our area. I spoke with people both for and against this issue about why they chose to come out tonight. A large group rallying tonight in downtown Charleston to show their support for refugees coming to West Virginia. Lakeisha Lloyd says she chose to rally in wake of last week's election, which she believes has divided the country.
I believe that we all need to come together. This is not a time for divisiveness. This is a time for solidarity. It doesn't matter if you are black, white, woman, man, part of the LGBT community, Muslim. We're all West Virginians.
Jude Alzaba is a Syrian refugee who moved to West Virginia 3 years ago.
If we stayed in Syria, things would have been very different. We might have been in danger.
She says she is grateful to know that there are this many people who support her and her family moving here, but she knows there are many people who don't.
I really appreciate all of them standing for us, because many other people out there are hating on us and they don't want us to be here.
People like Eva Cagle, who joined another protest just down the street from the rally. She believes refugees should work to improve their own country before coming to the United States.
Stay in your own country, fight and make it a great country. Don't come here and try to control this country.
Alzaba says while many people do not support refugees living here, she wishes others in Syria were able to have the same opportunities that she does.
Coming here is a really good opportunity, and I wish other people like me would get that opportunity too, so they can start a new life.
The rally did not only support refugees, but also immigration and the Muslim community in West Virginia. Both the rally and the protest were peaceful. Live in Charleston, Kaylee Gunderson, Eyewitness News.
Well, just in time for the Christmas season, here are the 10 most dangerous toys of 2016. World Against Toys Causing Harm came out with this list. It includes the Flying Heroes Superman launcher, Warcraft Doomhammer, and Peppy Pups. So you might want to check out this full list to see if any of these are on your child's Christmas wish list this year.
Starts to work at 3 weeks with maximum effect at 3 months.
And they say it can keep you young, a new technique that rejuvenates the skin but might actually make your skin crawl when you see it. It's the Vampire Facelift.
And we're looking for a nice warm-up, but then things really cool down as we go into the weekend. I'll put the timeline together for you, and I'll have it in my forecast. It's on the way next. Oh, we saw some nice sunshine today, punched the temperature up into the 60s, and now we have the clouds coming in, so that's going to trap in some of the warmth from the day. So mostly cloudy skies tonight, mild evening. Warmer Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow's kind of right in the middle. Tomorrow will be very seasonable, but then wintry Sunday and Saturday is not going to be a bargain either. It's kind of like the transition day. It'll start off okay, but then it's really cool down as we make our way through the day. Live Doppler radar, nothing showing up here. We might see an isolated sprinkle, and that's about it. Maybe on your morning commute tomorrow, we might have a couple of drops. Where the clouds have taken their time moving over towards the east, Elkins 33. It was down below freezing, now back up above freezing. Richwood 34, Lewisburg 36, Charleston 46, and we're seeing warmer temperatures over to the west where the clouds have been around a little bit longer today. Prestonsburg, Huntington, Moorhead all in the 50s right now. Satellite radar view shows the clouds just making their way over towards the east. Elsewhere, mostly cloudy skies, a few breaks here and there, but for the most part, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies tonight, trapping in that warmth, and so we're looking pretty mild. Now, here's a warm front pushing through the area. That is going to keep temperatures near normal tomorrow because I think we'll have a lot of clouds still. But then as we go into Thursday, that warm front moves away. We pick up a southwesterly flow, and that heats things up to around 70 on Thursday. But then by Friday, things really warm up, talking about in the mid-70s, maybe even upper 70s. But right after that, look at this. We pull out the snow forecast. Haven't used that at all yet. Let's put it into motion. Oh boy, look at those numbers. This is a European model. Does pretty well in the long range. But look at that, 7 inches in Elkins, 1 to 2, maybe even up to 5 inches in the foothills, around an inch for some of the lowlands, including Charleston. On the grassy surfaces, the road's too warm to hold any snow. It's going to melt on contact. But these are preliminary, might not be quite this much. We'll be tweaking it over the next few days, but still, it's something to think about as we go into the weekend, because along with the snow, obviously, it's going to be very cold, and we're talking about very windy conditions as well. Tonight, 41, mostly cloudy. That's seasonable, a little warmer than normal. That is seasonable. 58 tomorrow, so they're looking pretty good there. 58 Wednesday, 70 Thursday, 77 Friday, Saturday, 55. We take a look at the football forecast. That is on ABC, by the way, the game, and it will be 8 o'clock. We're going to be looking at temperatures in the 30s, rain changing over to snow, windy conditions. Sunday, just raw, cold, rain, snow, wind, 36, 45 on Monday, and 52. Improving a little bit on Tuesday. Doug Harlow's in here bright and early tomorrow morning. Make sure you check with him before you head out the door. Have a great night. One final look at your forecast up soon.
Testing and selling their work, how these incubators are creating jobs and pushing the creative economy forward.
Just want to get rid of the fine lines.
Using your own blood to help rejuvenate your skin. We'll show you how the vampire facelift works.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 5 a.m., we're making your pets the star. So send in your pictures now to burst.com/WCHS-TV to get them on the air.
We can't wait to see them. And as always, we'll have your local traffic and weather updates every 10 minutes to get you to work and school on time. That's tomorrow morning on Eyewitness News at 5.
If the idea of going under the knife to look younger is a little scary, there's a newer procedure that a lot of people are turning to, and they say it's bloody good.
Liz Bonis shows us why many women are turning to the vampire facelift for the secret to eternal youth.
She didn't want hours in the operating room, but Layla Thronsden definitely wanted to take a bite out of letting age get the best of her.
Just want to get rid of the fine lines.
So she turned to the vampire facelift. Dr. Amy Brenner says it's the hottest trend in using your own blood to rejuvenate the skin. The blood is drawn and then put into a special container with some compounds that, inside this spinner, separate out what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma.
The platelet-rich plasma works by, it has growth factors in it, so when you inject it back into the body, it recruits your own natural stem cells to regenerate tissues.
Here's how the vampire facelift works. You first inject a filler under the skin that plumps it up and gives it sort of a scaffolding or matrix for the PRP. Then the blood products are mixed and placed into small syringes. Those too are then injected into the skin.
So one of the things that is important to note is that this product, spun from the blood, has actually been used for injury recovery and many other things for a number of years. For that reason, at least we know that the recovery time from this is at least minimal, with just a few side effects.
It is some injections. Somebody could potentially have a bruise, although it's unlikely.
The results from the filler start right away, but the PRP?
That starts to work at 3 weeks with maximum effect at 3 months.
The facelift works best with a follow-up vampire facial. Caitlin McGowan chose to do only the facial, which also covers the face with your PRP from your own blood. It uses this tiny tool to buff it into the skin. Well, it's not pretty right away. Jennifer Tiemann had both about 6 months ago.
At age 38, really my main goal was for maintenance and prevention of all the signs of aging.
She says it's a dramatic difference.
I've had tremendous results. I think I look younger now than I did 2 years ago.
Well, the full results of the procedure are expected to last about 18 months.
Here's the catch. It's not cheap. The procedure is anywhere from $700 to $1,200, and it is not covered by insurance.
Several U.S. cities have teamed up with artisans on creative incubators to help give local makers a leg up in the marketplace.
Natalia Angelo Hinkson with our national news partner Circa visited one of those groups in St. Louis, Missouri.
For so long, we haven't focused on our creative class, on the people who work with their hands, that express their creativity by making.
Julia Lee founded Create Space Generator, a creative product incubator in St. Louis, to help makers launch and scale their small businesses. From jewelry and lamps to teas, wood products, and candles, the maker movement is playing a central role in bringing industry back to cities. In 2014, St. Louis saw the biggest spike in startup growth in the nation.
They're creating jobs for themselves, and they're creating jobs for others.
Startups have created 1.5 million jobs on average per year. CreateSpace has 18 incubatees, and with built-in business classes, access to financing, and a retail storefront, incubatees are able to test and sell their work. Cities like Madison and Portland are joining forces with makers to push the creative economy forward. 26% of U.S. cities currently have makerspaces, and already a third of the U.S. workforce is people working for themselves. While it won't replace the manufacturing industry, what these makers are producing are handcrafted items that sell at a premium, and there is a growing market for these goods.
People have opportunities to kind of build their own jobs and really think about how they can contribute to the economy in a very different way than people have in past generations.
For Circa, I'm Natalia Angulo-Hinkson.
For more on creative economy, go to circa.com. A big weekend in high school football. A lot of local teams still in action, and that includes Hurricane, who has to go back up to Morgantown. Mark Martin has that story next in the Dutch Miller Kia Sports Report.
And now, the Dutch Miller Kia Sports Report. Friends and family pricing for everyone.
Great to have you along as the month of November hits its midway point and beyond. There's nothing quite like a big-time football game, and there's one to be played in Morgantown Saturday evening, a game you'll see live on WCHS TV8 as West Virginia entertains Oklahoma. The Mountaineers, number 10 in the country, Oklahoma, number 8. The Sooners have yet to lose in the Big 12. West Virginia has just one loss.
Yeah, we're excited about a top 10 matchup, Morgantown, Saturday night, 8 o'clock. All that's good, but what our team focuses on is the next game. That's what this group has done. Let's prepare hard to put ourselves in position. But I know the atmosphere is going to be great.
Now, in looking back at the win against Texas on Saturday, the Mountaineer head coach praised the play of some young freshman performers, including former Cabell Midland standout Reese Donahue and Adam Schuler.
Can't say enough about Schuler and Reese Donahue. Both those cats, two freshmen going into that game. Schuler got his first start, played well, has a chance to be a really, really good player. And then Reese Donahue going as a true freshman, just playing his tail off. He's got a bright future here as well.
Marshall is hoping to use its momentum from the Middle Tennessee game to carry it on into the final game of the season on the road at 3-7. Doc Holliday's Herd seeking a second straight victory when they take on Florida International in Miami Saturday. It's a game you will see live on our very own American Sports Network.
I told him on Sunday, let's be that team that we saw here Saturday night. That's the team we expect to be. That's the team we've been around here for a long time, and we need to get back to being that team, and let's continue to do whatever we got to do to be that team on Saturday night versus FIU, and part of it's preparing and the way you go about your business and practice and everything else you do.
College football tonight, Ohio University losing a tough one to Central Michigan in MAC play 27-20. Our road to Wheeling coverage continues as we count you down to the first weekend of December. And it's back to Morgantown this weekend for the Hurricane Redskins. They knocked off University on Friday night by a final of 38-14. Now they get the chance for another win in the University City as they take on the Mohegans of Morgantown Friday night.
Just being able to run the ball, power the ball, just run right at people. Found a freshman running back that's going to be pretty good for us in the future, and a good senior stepped up and filled in when he needed to. So I think we found our identity offensively, defensively. We knew how they played all year, so they just kept doing what they do.
And game time Friday is set for 7:30. That's sports here at 11 o'clock.
You just watched the Dutch Miller Kia Sports Report. Friends and family pricing for all.
Cloudy skies tonight. Going to keep things mild. We're at 43 to start off the day tomorrow. 52 by lunchtime and 58 by the late afternoon. That's a seasonable day. Then we're going to warm it up on Thursday and Friday into the 70s, well into the 70s Friday. And then Saturday, transition day, gets cool and cold on Sunday. 36 for the high, windy and rain mixing in with snowflakes. Then we start to warm up a little bit back again by Monday and Tuesday.
So the gravestone marking Ben Franklin's final resting place in Philadelphia is in need of some repair.
The stone there at 5th and Arch in Old City has been damaged. Some of it comes from the ritual of visitors tossing pennies onto it. Those pennies pitched right at one of Franklin's famous quotes that is inscribed on the marker. A penny saved is a penny earned. And those pennies add up. About $4,000 each year. That's a lot of pennies, what, 400,000 pennies? But the cost of restoration is about $76,000, so the pennies aren't going to pay for it. A church has put up a GoFundMe page. They hope to have that money raised by the end of the year so they can have the gravestone fixed in time for the anniversary of Franklin's death in April.
All right, Eyewitness News continues at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I wonder if they did take those 4,000 pennies on as part of our payment here. Here's 4,000 pennies. It's heavy. Jimmy Kimmel Live's next.
See you there.